Thank you for taking this time out to listen. Today, I want to talk about something that I've noticed in the spiritual realm, something that is interesting, and I do believe you might want to take heed. The rise of the woman is what this message is about. Now, for a long time, we have seen some women make some great strides. We've also heard all sorts of campaigns and doctrine and media and so forth where women are talked about positively. And those that have been negative about women, well, there has been some folks that have risen up against them in media. Those that have been haters of women have also been brought low and brought to shame. God has allowed this to happen, and I recognize that it has happened due to the curses brought upon man. When man was given favor, when man was told to lead, when man was told to achieve, when man was told to change from his father's ways and do something different, when man was told to seek God and all these things will be added unto you, and all of those types of things that God and only God can move upon men and women to advise these so-called leaders and fathers and preachers and teachers and CEOs and CFOs and all the other O's. The men wanted to do their own things. The men wanted to be demigods. The men wanted to tell the people that this is how things are going to be run, and did not want to acknowledge the one true God who gave them the wealth, who gave them the opportunity, who gave them homes, cars, and you name it. So what happens is when God has chosen a man to do some things for him, and he decides that he wants to do his own thing, then gradually you start to see that the man is brought under a curse, okay? You don't bring God into your life, into battles, and not do what he says. So there are curses. That's the part that a lot of believers don't like to get into, but there are curses when there is disobedience, when there is sin, when there is rebellion. So when you see the rise of the woman taking place, I remember the last time when I seen such a rise was back in the 1990s. You have to know that some men have done some ugly things in some of these circles. You've got to know that some of these individuals are unfortunately out to destroy women because they see that God has his favor upon women. You may have seen this sort of thing personally. You may have seen this sort of thing professionally, where there is male and female and they're not quite getting along. And you're saying to yourself, this is getting ridiculous anymore, that this man or this woman or whoever continues to fight one another like they do. God was not pleased with man. And God is still not pleased with man because man says that he doesn't need God. So God says, well, you don't need your wife and you don't need your health and you don't need your money. So I'm going to take all of those things away from you. Your wife is no longer going to pray for you and answers to prayer are going to take place. No, okay? Think about it. Some folks you've been praying for a long time and God's not budging. He's not budging. There are times where God says, okay, man, I want you to take care of your woman. I want you to love her. I want you to appreciate her. And man says, well, she doesn't like me, or she doesn't appreciate me, or she doesn't love me. And I'm tired of this woman that you gave me and all that. Well, God then instructs another man to come along and to teach and talk and sweet talk and provide for her and everything else. And then the man looks on and he says, that man has my wife. The reality kicks in, or that man has my girlfriend. Okay. God is not playing these little petty games with men. Men who like to play psychological tactics with those that they love. The kind of men who try to come up with excuses as to why they had to put this woman and that woman in check. The kind of men who sit back and they're players and hustlers and pimp types, and they think that they got the upper hand on every woman that walks by in a skirt. Okay? Sexism, racism, harassment, rape, unwanted pregnancies, and more are issues that women as well as men face. And when these sorts of things go on, we got to know that God is trying to tap us on the shoulder and say, listen here, what you are doing to one another, or what you are doing to yourself, is causing many problems. Okay? And when man is not able to perform his job, and when man is not able to take care of his family, and when man is often complaining like the Israelites in the Old Testament, then God finds a way to make sure that man doesn't have his family anymore, doesn't have his responsibilities, doesn't have to worry about paying for too much of anything but himself. Because you see, selfish men end up being alone. Selfish men, we don't pity them. We don't feel sorry for them. They like to use their old age once they get to a certain place in life where they know they can no longer pull any women. They'll use their age and their feebleness to try to get women to empathize with them. They played the flirting game in their youth and then carried that game into various sexual games. And then when those things didn't work any longer, they used their money and played money games on women. And then when the money was taken away, then they played the empathy games. Woe is me, I'm sick. Woe is me, I'm going through much. Woe is me, somebody come to my rescue. And God says, well, I tried to give you an opportunity, but you didn't want to listen. And I gave you this and I told you that, and once again. And so around the circle the man goes, or woman, because we do have those women who God puts them on a fast track only for them to come crashing down. But I wanted this and I wanted that. And then once it's given, they're no longer appreciative. They no longer feel that it's necessary to be nice and respectful and presentable and everything else. And then they have their share of anger issues toward men because they've been mistreated for so long. And some women go so far as to sleep with the same sex because they know that they cannot deal with all of the issues that come with men. But there are also issues with the same sex as well. So running from one gender to the other gender is not going to solve your problems. But the rise of the woman is crucial. It is crucial to kingdom business because what it is telling many of these men out here who believe themselves to be demigods is that you are going to be brought down. You're going to be brought down from your prideful post. You're going to stop with your conceits. You're going to start working together. And if you're not going to work together, you're going to be separated. You're going to have to start respecting more women as leaders. And you're going to have to stop thinking that you're going to get sex with every woman just because. Okay? So as we move into, once again, another level, there will be new devils. And if you are that woman who is on the fast track toward leadership or management or a combination of both, you're going to have to be guarded because there are those men who are going to attempt to treat you as if you're nothing more than a sex object, thanks to so many women showing off their bodies and gyrating and doing all sorts of things in media. And so the worldly man does not respect something that is nothing more than an object to him, which means that it's going to cause a lot of problems in many co-ed environments. But the woman will be respected, the woman will be admired, and the woman will be favored. And when all of these things take place in the coming years, the new group of men that comes along, boys turning into men, they are going to realize just what equality is all about. And when they realize this sort of thing, they will teach their sons to look at women as equals and not as something that you poke, prod, and stare at. I thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Please do take a moment to check the description box, and to God be the glory.